crazy, and something terrible I feel is going to happen. I don't know whether it's the San Andreas Fault is about to open up and swallow all of California with me in it, because I'm right on the fault. Something's wrong. The world has suddenly gone dead quiet after the rioting, the scandals. Something's happening in the world. I can just feel the energy. The negative energy is overwhelming. There's a vacuum, rather. It's not so much a negative energy, it's a vacuum of energy. Can you hear me or not? I think you can. Uncle Mike, hello. Yeah, something's wrong. Look at the weather here. Almost 80 degrees. We're 10 degrees above normal. There's been no rain this month. February is supposed to be our heaviest, wettest month of the year in Northern California. No rain. No snow in the Sierras. Okay, so that's a weather pattern. Blizzards in the east, I know. It's climate change, right? Okay, right. Wrong. But I'm talking about something in the world. Something in the world. Now, you look at the mass hysteria that the vermin in the media are putting on our heads. So I ranked it on X a while ago. And I asked, rank the story in the importance of which you think they should be discussed. The 1 million dead between Russia and Ukraine, a missing 84-year-old grandmother. I mean, I have sympathy for, I don't know her. People go missing every day of the week. You don't hear a word about it. People are kidnapped every day of the week. All of a sudden, Guthrie of NBC. I never heard of her. But her mother, okay, God bless her. Hope she's found safe. You think if I went missing, anyone would give a shit? I'm the same age and I'm a grandfather. But it wouldn't be on the front of Fox News. Murdoch declared, make the morons think about a missing mother, grandmother now. Make that the story around the clock. The Lindbergh baby all over again. The vermin in the media have never been this bad and this powerful. But put that aside. The mere fact that the whole United States can be wrapped up in a game between thugs this Sunday, the Super Bowl. Where are you going to be on Sunday? The big game is coming. Get ready for the big game. Buy the big game this, the big... I don't give a shit. I don't care what they do. It's the Roman arena. And now we have this vacuum. There's something in the air. There's a vacuum. There's something in the air. I feel the negative energy. I'm not Nostradamus. I've been able to predict things fairly well politically. I predicted the COVID lockdowns before they occurred online. Some people remember that. I'm not going to get a burnishing on my halo for that. But I'm telling you, I can sense with every fiber in my being there's some major world event coming. And I don't know what it is. It could be in any level. Bitcoin's collapsing. The rumors are we're going to find out who created Bitcoin, and it may be someone you don't want to know about. I never believed in cryptocurrency. I thought it was a hype and a disgrace that the president involved himself in it and made a fortune in it for himself and his family. I always felt sick from it. I never liked the idea of politicians profiting from their position of power. Never. And I backed Donald Trump a long time. I mean, this is a new low. But let's put him aside. That's not the issue. We know the alternative would have been 1,000 times worse. That we know. The Pelosi machine would be running the country today. That's what would have happened if the creature had won. Oh, what do you think is going to happen? Something ominous is going to happen. Look how beautiful the bay is here, Northern California. Look. You didn't know there were palms here, did you? Did you know that this is not the species that is indigenous to the coast of California, but there was a palm that grew from Baja California all the way to British Columbia, known as Washingtonia foliifera. It's a beautiful, wide-trunked palm tree that's indigenous to the West Coast. It looks like a primitive palm tree. I'm mentioning that only because it's very interesting to me about life forms and how they thrive and where they thrive. So now we, the humans, are a recent life form on this sphere spinning through the atmosphere. And we think we know all, we think we've seen all, we think we can predict all. And most of us reject God. We think that's a joke for old men with white beards. So we're all so cool, we don't need God. And I don't say I speak for God. I try to speak to God. It's a big difference. Does he answer? No. I speak to an invisible God. I don't worship a rock or mud or a feather flying in the air. That's for you, the pagans. If you're in Hollywood, you can wear those things. I said years ago how we had gone in America, and this occurred 25 years ago, from St. Christopher medals to dream catchers on dashboards. I remember that happening. I was always like, what the hell is this? What's with the dream catchers hanging off mirrors? You can't even see the road. Well, now we've gone from dream catchers to scheme catchers. Now it's scheme catchers. Everywhere you turn, everyone's got a scheme. Yeah, I have a scheme. I have a scheme. Everyone's got a product, a scheme, a plan, a vitamin, a coin, a this, a that. What a country. What a degenerate country this has become. It's like a whore's nest. Nothing is sacred. There's nothing sacred in the country. Can you name anything that's sacred? Maybe babies should be sacred. Mothers should be sacred. They should be put on a pedestal, but they're not. Instead, we see anorexic whores from Hollywood putting down America every day. So, I mean, I could get really angry. I don't even get angry anymore. Yesterday I got angry. Someone cut me off. I was in a van. I have an old van now. I decided that's my most anonymous car, and I have it. I like it. I love it. It's got a kitchen, a refrigerator, a toilet, a bed. What more does a man need? Especially with public restrooms these days. It's nice to have your own rolling house, but it's a small one built in a panel truck, and I drive slowly. Some asshole was on the right lane, and I saw this liberal son of a bitch with a liberal sign on the trunk edging me out, and I started honking the horn, and he cut me off. Well, I trailed him, and you know the type that when he cuts you off and you trail him, and you see he starts fumbling around at the lights, making believe he didn't know what he did, and makes believe he's not looking in a mirror to see if you're going to fucking shoot him, which I don't do. I trailed him quite a while, but I couldn't catch up with him. He was too zippy. Typical liberal sneak where I live. They cut you off and then they're like they didn't do it. But that's the least of my problems. It doesn't really matter. That's nonsense. Lucky I have control over my emotions. Because I told you years ago, when I grew up, I knew some very, very different type of men. And one of them, he was the most silent man amongst all of the men of the father generation. And he had a hand on him like I don't know how to describe it. I shook his hand. He never would shake your hand, and he was so powerful. He was afraid of crushing people's hands. He would hold his hand open. Quiet man, not that big, but very broad. And some guy cut him off. The story was out in Wantagh, Long Island, I don't know, 115,000 years ago. And he trailed him, cut him off in Queens. He trailed him to Wantagh an hour, wouldn't stop. And the guy panicked because he knew he had a nut behind him. And yesterday when the guy cut me off, I said, what, are you going to be like him now? Like a lunatic? You're going to trail him for over nothing? Get control of yourself, Michaels. He's a schmuck. Let God seek the vengeance. He'll cut the wrong guy off one day. It won't be you. Okay? Or that'll be the end of it. So stop with the trailing. I can't say I didn't look for his car in the parking lot for a few minutes after I went shopping. I did. But I didn't find it. I do get mad, but I know how to I had a control rage. When I was younger, I didn't have the control over the rage machine that's inside of all of us. If you think it's abnormal to have a rage machine, you're mistaken. We all have rage in us. That's our life force. But you have to learn how to challenge that rage if you want to survive to any age, because it'll consume you. So I'm the age of that grandmother, because I'm a grandfather. And I wish her the best. Why is this the news around the clock? I asked on X an hour or two ago. You got a war between Russia and Ukraine, 1 million dead. We forgot about it already. 18 billion missing in Minnesota from Waltz and company with the Somali pirates. As you know, the other stories that you forgot about already? 25,000 dead protesters in Iran. Don't worry, we got your back. Go out there and protest. We got your back. Yeah, right. We got their back. 25,000 young people dead in Iran. Nothing. Now it's about a missing grandmother. So when I wrote the books, mass hysteria years ago, no one understood what I was talking about. I was talking about you. I was talking about the media. I was talking about Moloch, who owns, you talk about interlocking corporate directorships. The Moloch Empire controls newspapers, radio stations, television stations, movie businesses, podcasts. That's called interlocking corporate directorships. It should have been stopped a long time ago as a result of antitrust legislation, which went out the window. That disappeared a long time ago, antitrust actions in America. They're not even used. Asshole now with the powers. Look at there he is. Came in from south of the border with a knapsack on his back. I got to get away from it. I hate that noise. Okay, it's not the worst thing on earth. I'll go to the quiet side of my house and look at my aloe plants. You talk about a tough plant. Do you know that aloe has been used since Cleopatra's time to treat burns? And it was used to treat radiation burns at the University of Pennsylvania a number of years ago. That's how powerful this plant is. That's why I went into ethnobotany years ago. I'm always amazed at nature's powers to heal and kill. Nature can heal, nature can kill. You watch it grow, and you can learn things just about the power of the plant through how it grows. It almost strangles itself with its own growth and its offspring. It's very interesting. A topic for another day. I'd like to take that leaf blower and throw it in the fucking bay right now. Get out of here already with that goddamn overpowered leaf blower. Why can't they ban them? Let them use them in Guatemala where they came from. Look, here's beautiful oregano. It's coming back. We cut it way back. I use it in all my cooking. See, now he's trailing me. Oregano. Beautiful Italian parsley. I cook with it at night. It's beautiful. Sometimes for fun. I'll throw I buy lettuce now with the roots. I throw them out my kitchen window. I'm like a weirdo in that way. I do strange things that people don't do. I do it for fun. I do weird things for fun because I was weird before it was fashionable. I've always been a weird guy. I'm proud of it. I don't want to be like an average person. I never was. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Look at this temperature out here. Look at this. Look at this. This is February in Northern California. And this is not even in the sun, it's in the shade. Right? What do you think? So my friends, as soon as the sound stops, I'll go back over there. It's a beautiful time of year. I mean, it's very early spring. It's much too early for this. This is sort of like April. I love this orchid. It comes up every year. Look at this. Look at Nature Renews. It only comes up once a year. It drops the flowers after a while. Look at this. You want to study powerful things. Study orchids. My lemon tree did not bloom this year. Didn't fruit this year. For 1 year we missed fruiting. It's interesting how a lemon tree can tell you things too. In a little garden, you can learn a lot about life. So now this was always a very tough tree. Now it's fruiting again. Last year we had not one lemon. Why? It decided it needed a rest. It was its sabbatical. See the tree? It was its sabbatical last year. Did you take a sabbatical this year? Or do you want to be a real American and work 24/7 until you have a heart transplant? Just slow it down. Well, this is Captain Mike signing off. I know you want me to keep going, but there's not much more to say. I'll conclude where I began. Rank what's the most important news story. A missing 84-year grandmother, 1 million dead in Ukraine and Russia in a war that Trump thought he could end. 15 to 30,000 dead protesters in Iran not covered by the vermin in the media. The missing billions in Minnesota. Tell me what's the most important story. Why, it's what Murdoch determines is most important story, which is a missing grandmother. Now forget the missing children. Forget the missing people shot on the streets of Oakland, California every day, or Chicago. That's not an important story because their parents aren't on NBC News. This is the important story. I hope they find her. I hope she's fine. The whole story stinks to high heaven to me. Something doesn't add up with the whole story. Something's not adding up correctly with it. I came on too fast. There's too many. There's something about it that stinks to high heaven. But that's not the purpose of this little short broadcast. Is he through now with the blower? What's important right now is to remember that there is a mass media that controls your mind. Whether you know it or not, the mass media controls your mind. They tell you what's important, not the million dead in Russia, Ukraine. That's a whole generation wiped out. Not the 20, 15, 30,000 dead protesters in Iran, tortured, maimed, killed by the mullahs, not important. The missing billions in Minnesota, we forgot already. Trump bent the knee and capitulated. I told you that. When they fired Bovino, I got very upset because he was like a frontline guy. He was like a real stand-up guy. He did everything Trump asked him to. And at the first sign of problems, they threw him overboard and sent him south of the... And I put it on Twitter. Oh, no, Mike, you don't know what you're talking about. Trump didn't back down. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You do? The anonymous schmucks on X. No, I don't know. They do. They sent him to south of the border to manage a taco stand, Bovino. A good guy, a straight-up guy, a real soldier. They fired him. They cut his head off and threw him out. So they put in Homan. I like Homan. He's like a New York cop. Like, you know, he huffs and puffs a lot. And what's he done there so far? He's already capitulated to that pencil neck fry. He also? My God. Look, it's a crazy time in America right now. And I'm telling you, something crazier is going to happen. I can feel it. But the ships keep passing in the night. You see the ship passing in the night way out on the horizon? We got an empty tanker coming back after delivering its rocket fuel. And I'm telling you, something's wrong. Something's wrong, boys and girls. Well, we got the Super Bowl coming up. Get ready now. Get your popcorn. And be sure you load up on your medical marijuana and your pizza. Buy the Ozempic for your mother-in-law. You ever see madness like this with Ozempic? A Gila monster, the saliva of a Gila monster, which paralyzes its prey, which was first used for Botox so that everyone could look like Barbara Boxer. Suddenly they discovered another use for it. It kills all desire for anything. So you lose weight because you feel like you're dead anyway. So you look like you're a corpse. It makes you more beautiful because you look like you're anorexic. Are you kidding me? Now, my prediction about Ozempic is within several years we'll have kidney failure, liver cancer, and diseases we never heard of from the millions that are taking it for unprescribed usages. Now makes you lose weight because you don't get any endorphins. You feel nothing. And you become an average American, a dolt, a blob, a zero, a non-entity, a eunuch of emotions. I could go on and on. I know you like it. Uncle Mike, when he gets into these states, is what you want. This is what you really wanted me. This is what you were used to years ago. So why has God kept me alive all these years? Is it chance? 84 years old, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, God rest their souls, all died young of heart attacks. I had a little brush with that a number of years ago, a real one, but I don't make it an issue. I don't cry on your shoulders. In fact, right after I had the heart attack, Cumulus fired me even though they knew I had a heart attack. They tried to fire me during the heart attack. You don't know this story. I could have sued their asses for $1 billion today if I wanted. I didn't want to bother. The scum that run the media, you'll never know the bottom of it. They knew I had a heart attack. Luckily, it was around Christmas time, so what I did was I took 2 weeks off, and I recovered in my own ways, and I went back on the radio. I had one more year of a contract. I wouldn't let them take me out of it. And I said, fuck them. I'm going to survive on the radio for one more year for my audience. And fuck it, no one's going to kill me unless I want to leave. I lasted one more year. Then they brought in Ben Shapiro to replace me. You hear? Squeaky. Squeaky the Israelite was brought in to replace me by the powers that be at Cumulus. And then, of course, the eternal survivor is the real weird one. He has no talent, no voice. The Fox News genius. Squeaky! You know who I'm talking about? I don't mean Mickey Mouse with laughing gas. That's Ben Shapiro. I mean the other one. The nastiest piece of shit with a law degree that ever existed. But don't worry, he's in the Justice Department as an advisor to Donald Trump. That tells you what faith you should have in the Justice Department. They made him an advisor. So they lasted. They weren't touched by, quote, managers of Cumulus. I still don't know. That's a mystery to me. And I made a transition during that year, recovering from a heart attack, refusing to leave radio. I planned my next incarnation as a podcast host and a TV guy. I went on Newsmax as a fill-in host. Eventually, they gave me my own show, which is, I have an impossible slot. Do you know what I've been going up against on Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern? I never saw award shows, football. It's like you can't win in this slot. But I keep going. I keep going. I have pretty good ratings. Let's say the audience isn't stupendous, but it's between like over 150,000, over 200,000, sometimes 125. That's not insignificant. Thank you very much for supporting me. Remember, it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, and I really want you this Sunday. The funny thing is that when my show airs this Sunday, it's exactly the halftime show where they have the scumbag in there, whatever, with the nose ring scumbag, whatever his name is, Bunny's ass, I don't know his name. And you could tune in on Newsmax TV and catch me. I got a great show. As usual, I produce them all as though they matter. Each one is a Persian miniature, I used to call them. I don't just throw crap out there. I try to make it worth your while. This Sunday, you got a date. Even if you're watching the Super Bowl, you could tune in to me at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be on till 8:30. Bingo. Great show. You're not going to want to miss it. So, everybody listen. There's something weird happening in the air. I came on the air right now. I wanted to take a nap, actually. It's my nap time. You know that I have had a siesta virtually every afternoon of my life as an adult that I could. As a young man, I couldn't. I was a social worker, teacher, running school and back, holding down 2 jobs. I couldn't do it. But even during the radio years, do you know that I would nap every afternoon, 15, 20, 30 minutes? I told you my trick. Napping is probably the most important part of health. This should be a short, Karen. I'll start again. Napping should be one of the most important parts of health. You heard about the Mediterranean diet. How about the Mediterranean lifestyle? They shut the lights off and they take a 6-hour lunch. Then they eat dinner at 8, 10 o'clock at night, the Italians. Not that they're a model anymore. They lost their country. They gave it up. They gave their nation away. Between the crime and the degeneracy and too much pasta. It's a great country, beautiful architecture. I'm glad the Muslims will enjoy it for the next few hundred years and crap in their cathedrals, as they did in Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Study your history, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's the greatest cathedral in Turkey. It became a mosque after the Muslims conquered Turkey. It wasn't always a Muslim country, nor was Egypt. Egypt was not a Muslim country. It was a pagan country. They worshipped like Ra. They worshipped Ra in Egypt, and the Muslims came and burned the Alexandria Library to the ground. You know what they do. They invade, they burn libraries to the ground, and they take over. And they make you bend over to the other guy. No, what a religion. You go in a mosque on a hot summer day, you're bending over behind the other guys. Come on. That's not something to look forward to. You're bending over right next to the other guy's keister in a hot mosque? No wonder they come out want to bomb everybody. No, come on. It's true. At least in the church, you sit. What do you think they call it a pew for? The same thing, but at least, okay, I'm talking before air conditioning, they call it a pew. But there is a relationship between the word pew and pew. Again, no air conditioning, a lot of people, bingo. The human body is very interesting. It's not always pleasant, by the way. So, thanks for listening. This is Captain Mike signing off. If you like what you see and you see what you like, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. Turn out that this whole thing was silent in a minute. I'll find out I hit the silent button without knowing it, and you didn't hear a word I said. That's happened to me several times recently. This phone drives me insane. But I'm glad that I took time out from my afternoon nap to discuss the world with you. I don't know what I'm going to do with this hot weather. I don't even like it. I can't take it. If I wanted hot weather, I moved to Florida where I have a house. It's hotter here than in Florida. What do I have to go to Florida for? But again, it's not climate change. Oranges have frozen there before from winters. In fact, my house in Florida, which I bought in '08, has a fireplace in it because I guess there are cold days and winters in Florida, right? Yeah, of course. Don't tell that to Al Gorleone, the head of the Gorleone Warming Climate Institute. So that's about it. There's not much to watch on television anymore. The only thing I saw recently that I liked was called A Man in Full. It's amazing. I know the actor. It's about a tycoon in Georgia who has it all: office tower, Rolls Royces, a 20,000 quail ranch, horses, 28-year-old gorgeous wife, the whole thing. And he finds out he's about to lose his empire and what he does to fight to get it back. It was written by Tom Wolfe. Great writer, great fiction writer. I went and bought the novel, which I'm looking forward to reading, A Man in Full. I recommend it as a Netflix drama. Almost no gay and lesbian propaganda that I can think of. There are black actors in it, but they're realistic. They're successful black people who are successful black people, not put there just because of their color. So that was good. It's Atlanta, so they're successful black people. So that's believable. They don't jam you with the gay and lesbian. I think there's one gay scene, I don't know. Then another show that my friend told me to watch. He's the one who introduced me to The Sopranos 25 years ago. He likes TV. He gets, brilliant guy, speaks Chinese, Japanese fluently, PhD, brilliant guy. He told me to watch a thing called Southland about the LAPD. It was very good for the first series, first segment, then it started to go downhill already. They're trying to stretch the storyline. Not bad. It's like very sparing right now. But having said all of that, I want to go back to my main theme without confusing myself or you. Read your comments. Mike, you want more Savage what? Nation merchandise. There's no more merchandise. I got a hat for the holidays, a Savage Nation hat, a blue and a red, a shirt. We got the coffee mug. I don't even sell them. You want me to look like Trump now with watches on my arm? And a Bible? You want a Savage Bible and a Savage watch? What else do you want? Come on, I did it for you. What do you think, you changed like a digit on my life? I did it because people want it. I can't make any money on watches and cups. Savage University, like that schmuck. Sorry, he got sick, but what a putz he always was, that guy. Prager University. Oh, he hated me. Because you know what he reminded me of? Like, Dennis Prager, I don't know if he recovered even. He was dead before he got sick, as far as I'm concerned, mentally. He hated me for some reason because he was jealous of my raw talent. He reminded me of the guys in the synagogue with like size 15 shoes, who were like obnoxious. They came only for the bagels and lox on Saturday. They didn't believe in God, but they did. No, they always knew how to do the prayer better than everybody else. They always knew all of the prayers, but you never knew. They were not authentic types. That's what he reminded me of. I have my own view of the world. You know, it's one man's opinion of the world. I like talking to my audience. And the sun feels good on my face. I mean, look, if the sun is out and it's 10 degrees hotter than it should be, I shouldn't put on a captain's hat that I bought for $3.95 online as a joke hat for a party. I shouldn't sit in the sun. I shouldn't? Well, I am. So go to my Savage site. What is it? At a Savage Nation. At a Savage Nation. That's my Twitter feed. Whoever came up with that one, couldn't they make it easier? At a Savage Nation. My Facebook page. Instagram. You know, and YouTube, we broke 100,000 a while ago. We're at 120, 130 now. Remember I said we're almost 100,000 on YouTube? It's like 120. It's not as big, I understand, as a Jew hater like Nick the Schmuck, the little Jew hater. He's not going to last much longer. He's on such thin ice. That Nick Fuentes Nazi prick, that fake Nazi, he hates Jews. He's a mixed race, part Hispanic, part Italian, part Irish, but he hates Jews. And it works for that schmuck, a talentless nobody, putz. And you got millions of morons who follow him because they found someone to blame for their losses, which of course is false. You can always find somebody to blame for the fact that you didn't get anywhere in life. That's a loser's game, my friend. You're never going to go anywhere by hating a whole race. So here we are. Here we are. I came on for one reason and one reason. I want to get my hat on the horizon. One reason only. You know what that is? Something's about to happen in the world that's catastrophic, and I don't know what it is. I sense it. I know, like doomsday bullshit. Something's in the air. I can feel it. I don't know whether it's a health issue for a leading politician or myself, or an earthquake where, boom, I'm in the sea. I was here during the Loma Prieta in 88 or 89. My whole house was in 17 dimensions at once. If you live through an earthquake, it's pretty terrifying. You can't tell up from down and left from right, north from south, east from west. There's no bearings. The house moves like in a fun house on acid. It's like, I never took acid, but it's like being on acid in a fun house in Coney Island with mirrors. The house moves in all the directions imaginable. What's the preparation for that? I don't know, like get an axe and survival food and water in a house on a bedrock hill or something. I mean, I had one up there. I think you should go to the house. Something's going to happen, I'm telling you. I feel it. What do you think's going to happen? Trump went dead silent all of a sudden. He went to the prayer breakfast today, and he said he's done more for religion than any president. I said, okay, that again? Does he even have to do that? Why does he have to do that? Can anyone explain to me the personality? He goes to a national prayer breakfast. Good. And instead of making it about God, Jesus for the Christians, God for the Jews and Muslims, he makes it about himself again. I've done more for religion than anyone else in the world. He did more for religion than Jesus. He almost wanted to say, I've done more for religion than God, but he didn't get to that yet. Sorry, Donald. You know, come on, I was there before everybody else. You got to back it off a little bit. You know, stop it. It's not selling anymore. No one's buying the act. Back it off. That would be my advice. Back it off. The whole MAGA shtick is over. We all know it was horseshit to begin with. I had the guy, when he won, come to my house in Florida right at the beginning of 2016. I can't mention the name. He's in the news now all the time. And he said right to my face, he showed up at my house with 2 bodyguards. And he said to me, Michael, he said, we took all of your books, we boiled them down to talking points, and we gave them to him, and he won the election because of you. He said that to me. I knew that, which thank you. It was nice. I understood that I'm a thinker. I understood that it's nice as an immigrant son with no connections to have achieved something of that magnitude and have helped the world, save the world from what could have happened. But then you wake up now in the second term, and after 1 year, it's no longer about America. When was it? It's only about him. Give us a break. Go back to borders, language, and culture, Mr. President Trump. That would be my suggestion. We're going to take a bath in the midterms like you never could believe. But we're already getting beaten one after the other. One election after the other, and the Republicans keep justifying it with bullshit to themselves. Didn't really matter. Remember the 3 that happened 2 months ago, and they said, oh, it's nothing. They were off season, didn't matter. Bullshit. There was a trend right then and there. And I said it. I was attacked by the MAGAites. Now I'm telling you, again, the last election didn't matter, really was a district for them anyway, blah, blah. No, something's happening. Something's happening. And we are going to get a shellacking like you can't believe. You're going to see a swing to the communist left, and it's going to hit you so hard, you're going to say, how did this happen? Why? Because the people can only take so much bullshit for so long, and then they're going to react. Even if they don't want the other side, they're going to react just to hurt the guy who's giving them the horse shit, in plain English. Sorry. I mean, look, if I stop calling him as I see him, I'm not going to talk at all. I'll take a vow of silence. And the only reason to have wisdom and insights is to share it with the world. Not to make moolah in the pocket and to hoodwink the public. Or as my dad would say, to bullshit the public. He was not educated, but he would say to me, see that politician? See that politician? They're all full of shit. He said, they just know how to throw the wind. Yeah, that's New York lingo for my dad's generation. They know how to throw the wind. They know how to bullshit the public. Right or wrong? I'm tilting the camera now to give you an angle. I like the angle. It's like being on a ship now, see? The ship is rocking. I don't even have to move, just move the camera. I feel like I'm on my boat. Something is going to happen in the universe. Look at what Murdoch's doing to you with the media. Missing woman, 84, grandmother my age. Sorry, hope she comes back in perfect shape. But is that a more important story than the million dead in Ukraine, Russia? Is that more important than the 18 billion allegedly missing from the Somalis and Waltz and Fry? Is that more important than the 25 to 50,000 dead Iranians? We got your back, those folks? No, but Murdoch decided it's better to have you focused on the missing grandmother of the liberal broadcaster. Well, that does it, folks. I'm watching the birds lately. This one just went by, a cormorant. I even watched the Canadian geese come by the other day. Even they're getting the hell out of Canada. They're looking to buy a condominium in Miami, but there aren't any and they're too expensive. How do they migrate 1,000 miles? How does a little bird this big fly 2,000 miles without dropping dead of a heart attack? Study nature. It gives you all the answers you need to know. And on that wonderful note, Michael Savage signing off saying thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.